Hello and welcome to the Out Loud podcast. My name's Jon.
And I'm Brian.
This is the podcast where any age is welcome, except if you're 33. It's just a weird number.
Weird.
What are you doing? All right, let's roll that intro music. So in today's episode, we're going to be talking about the challenges and the benefits of an age gap relationship because if you haven't noticed, Brian and I are in a bit of an age gap here.
Yes, I know. It's at least 3 years.
I know.
Is that what it is?
You
Maybe?
young whippersnappers keep me
Yeah.
fresh.
Yeah, sure.
So I have a list of challenges. Hold on, let me just see how many. I got to keep scrolling here. And then the benefits, that's a short list. So yeah, it's going to be a long one today. So grab some popcorn and get ready. But I guess, age before beauty. Brian, why don't you start with the challenges
All right.
of dating a younger guy?
Well, I'll tell you, before I kind of started dating you, I never thought about like getting old or age. But I'll tell you, it's something I think about every single day.
Do you feel like you would think about your age more or less if you were with someone your own age?
Less.
Less?
Yeah. Oh, definitely less,
So I remind you how old you are?
Yes.
Oh, well,
And
that's not fun.
And you do every single day, verbally.
But I do it with love.
Yeah, sure you do.
One way that we show love for each other is just razzing the other person.
Totally razzing. But there's a scene, if you've never seen it, and this is probably one of my challenges, in the movie Torch Song Trilogy with Matthew Broderick and Harvey Fierstein.
Okay.
It's when they first get together. And it is kind of an age gap relationship because Matthew Broderick looks like he's about 19 in this movie.
Okay.
And they wake up in bed together. Well, Harvey wakes up and Matthew's still sleeping. And it's like, runs into the bathroom, does his hair, washes his face, does the thing. It's like, so when you'd roll over and say good morning, I'd be like, good morning.
Yeah.
So like I think of that. Like sometimes I go into the bathroom in the morning in the mirror and I'm like, it's horrifying. Horrifying. I'm like, how can he wake up with me every single morning and be happy?
I know
you do. I know you do. So that's like, my wish is that you get horribly older very quickly. But look at that. Oh, look.
I already feel
look
like
at that. I was at the gym and I was like, and the lighting's horrible because it's that fluorescent light. And I'm like, oh my God. Like,
wrinkles are standing out.
I have to do this and look angry to get them out of my forehead. But if I like laugh and smile, as they say, these are laugh lines, nothing is that funny.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Wrinkles are a sign of wisdom.
What?
It's just own them.
It's like, and people say, oh, and the gray hair is sexy. It's always people who don't have gray hair that's saying that. So just so you know. Wow. But no, I mean, I think about my age, but, I'm like, it's a number. And mine's unlisted. So there you go. All right, give me a challenge.
Well, you just mentioned this whole Matthew Broderick rigmarole, blah, 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 blah. Half of your pop culture references go completely over my head. And I don't know if that's really a challenge. It is a challenge in that we can't kind of connect on some of the things that you grew up with and that is just so front of mind for you. And, I'll go to like a Nicki Minaj reference where you'll go to a Barbra Streisand reference.
Don't be going there. I'm loving my Nicki. And that's the thing. Like, I feel...
All about that bass?
Right. I like Meghan Trainor. Oh, my gosh. It's like, I love her.
Oh, wait. That is Meghan Trainor.
No kidding. See?
Super bass is Nicki Minaj.
But, see, I feel I lean more into your age group of pop culture than you do into mine.
Yes, and I think
which is only fair because you weren't around when mine
you've
started.
experienced both the old and the new.
Right.
Relatively old. I'm not calling you old. It's relative.
There were a lot of things in black and white.
Yes.
So, but that was actually one of my challenges.
Yeah.
But it's not so much even pop culture. It's like your gay cinema knowledge is staggeringly horrible.
It's lacking because I don't know.
But see, that's the thing. See, on the flip side, he could say to me, my sports knowledge is horrible. Like, I love sports, but he knows every single baseball player, and I just think as much as like we play softball and do anything, I think watching baseball is incredibly boring. And like maybe when I was like his age, I was more into the Red Sox and stuff. But now I'm just like, more pop culture, more cinema, more politics.
I'm less into that like box of like stereotypical gay interest of like cinema.
Right, but you almost go the opposite just to like prove.
It's not to prove. That's just me. It's just me being me,
like I'm
man.
proving I'm macho. I'm macho man because I like sports. Yeah, but you got to be the Renaissance man. That's the issue. Well, that's another challenge with your generation in general. You need to be more encompassing of the entire world, not just your little
We're too niche.
part of it.
Yes,
okay. You're too niche. Like but I say it in joking because like he does love to cook. He does love to go to the movies.
Thank you.
Sometimes, but like your knowledge is lacking in some of these.
I will say you are definitely more of a Renaissance man, more well-rounded gentleman, if we'll say. Everyone deserves some salt and pepper in their life, and you bring it in your knowledge and in your hairdo.
I'm extra right. I'm extra salt. Salt.
Yeah.
So,
but I do want to circle back to one main challenge that I still have, even after having a YouTube channel and TikTok and putting our lives out in the world. It's still difficult for me to share who I'm dating with new people. Like I started a new job recently, and like just sharing who I'm dating, it's just it's just uncomfortable to a certain extent because I don't know how they're going to react. I feel comfortable in my own skin, but I'm uncomfortable with how people are going to react to it.
He told me under no circumstances ever come to the hospital to visit me.
I never said that. Unless you're dying, I just don't think you should be at the hospital.
Like when I cut my finger last week, I'm like, do I have to go see Jon? So,
come on in.
No, and I get that. I think I'm less concerned about that, and I shouldn't say that, but because like everybody at work like knows who you are, and obviously you're younger. It's not that you don't have to be a member of Mensa to notice that you're younger.
Yeah,
so
no, it's just...
I don't, and I get that though. So, and kind of speaking with like the career, a challenge that we will face probably in the next 10 years is, my career is winding down.
Yeah.
And in 10 years, yours is probably going to be right at that pinnacle of.
So I'm probably going to be ramping up into more like a leadership. Like I want to do more leadership stuff or supervisory stuff, and so my career is picking up while yours is dying off.
Yeah,
dying off.
No shit. It's not like I don't want to keep working, but maybe not in the capacity and what I'm doing now.
Intensity. I think.
So I hope this YouTube stuff works out because that's my social security.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Right. Because Brian needs a job. No.
Well, more along the lines of the picking up while you're slowing down is there will be physical limitations that come into play. I will say that they don't currently come into play. I feel like we keep up with each other. You keep up with the massive fast pace that I go at. You are keeping up.
Yeah. All right. So let's get that out there right and up front and center.
What?
Sex.
Oh.
It's a huge challenge. You cannot keep up with me. I seriously.
Do you mean keep up in that sense? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, but in all seriousness, like in full transparency, sex life is awesome. It's great.
Right.
We have fun with each other. We always have.
I think that people would assume an older partner would have some sexual limitations in either getting it up, keeping it up, getting aroused, et cetera, et cetera. There is,
fortunately,
not to be like too detailed, but there are no issues related to that with our relationship. And there could just as easily be issues for the younger partner too. And so there shouldn't be any assumptions there.
But we got to like the writing's on the wall. 10 to 15 years. First off, what's this going to look like in 10 to 15 years? And you know what?
Well,
if I have to take a little blue pill, I'm taking a blue pill.
I can't wait to see what this looks like in 10 to 15 years because I'll be right here.
Because you're going to be 50, right?
No.
No?
You're
close.
I will be almost
45. Well, no. No, you won't.
No. But more about those limits, the physical limitations. You know that we like to bike, we go out, and we're doing things constantly, and there's going to be a point where I don't think you're going to be able to do those kinds of things.
Right, and then the thing is, it's like we adjust, and it's like that's why I'm staying as active as I can now, because it's like I don't. In 10 or 15 years, I still want to be riding a bike.
That's why.
Like I look at my sister, my older sister.
Yeah.
And she's going to be 70, and she's still rollerblades.
Good genes.
Yeah.
Good genes.
So it's like, you know, my mom's 97, still around. Like,
well, and if something breaks down or whatever, that's why knee replacements and hearing aids were made.
hello?
You know?
What? Yeah, that's what I
Precisely.
say. Exactly. So.
But I will say another challenge being you being an older person is your lack of tech savviness. The simple things. Go ahead.
I have to say that is one of my benefits. I have an IT guy 24/7. So I'm very excited about that. So see how we looked at that? Like I always go to the positive, you kind of on the challenge.
Towards the
part.
negative, yeah.
So,
You're the pepper to my
but
salt.
yeah, that's just like, I'm actually listening to this book about like YouTube and like how to, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And like they talk about, like guys like, well, you know, when YouTube started and I was a kid, and I'm like, oh my God. Like I was 21 when MTV debuted. And it's like, and we didn't even have cable TV at our house. Like not till I moved out was I. So it's like, you guys kind of grew up on it. Like I look at Pookie, like I look at our nephew, and he's on the iPad and he's doing stuff. It's just
second nature
in there, right? For us, that wasn't it.
But
it was
I will
TV.
When I look at like my parents or other people your age, you are like leaps and bounds above them in their technological sort of savviness.
Right.
You know, I think that you do know a lot. You just
have to show me.
You didn't grow up with it, and that's totally fine.
If you show me once, like what is it? Teach a man, give a man a fish, he eats for a day. Teach a man to fish, he eats for a lifetime.
I need to start teaching you how to fish. And by teaching you how to fish.
I need to fish a lot.
For those of you who don't know, of course we have the YouTube channel. I do all the video editing, like the thumbnail design, the video descriptions, the titles, all this stuff.
He does
Brian
it all.
helps plan a lot of the content, and you have a marketing and advertising sort of background.
Yes, that's what I do.
You know, that's
but
your
job. I haven't been doing it just because I've been
so
a little busy
I think
doing.
that part of the lack of tech savviness comes down to wanting this YouTube thing to kind of really work.
Well, and it's hilarious because like I know all that stuff that has to happen.
Right.
But being in advertising in the creative department, like there are certain roles everybody has, and that wasn't my role. My role is to write it and create it. Okay, then you go edit it. Okay, you go shoot it.
Well,
okay.
we are a good team in that sense because you have a very good creative like mind and like direction, and I can help bring that to life. It's just
Trust
sometimes
me, the one regret that I have, but it's not like it's something that we can't remedy, is I do want to start to edit more and like get involved in that more.
He's been saying this for 2.5 years.
I know, but because it's a big thing.
It's hard.
That's a hard thing, and he does such an amazing job at it. So
and you
it's
know
like,
what?
I know that's how he'll always compare it. So it's like in that respect, he's like me. It's like I'll just do it myself. And that's how he says it. I'll just do it myself.
I have so much, like, I want to keep the reins.
Yeah.
You know?
So, like, sometimes I'm like, well, could we do this? And then, like, he'll, like, shake his head. And then all of a sudden it will never happen because it wasn't his idea. So, so then there's that.
But overall, I think we're a good team. And obviously the benefits outweigh the challenges, or else we wouldn't be doing this thing called a relationship, you know?
Yeah. No. And, like, since he's a PA, you know, as I get older, I have my own in-house
concierge.
Right.
PA.
No kidding. I don't have to worry like about that. Like I had a physical on Tuesday. He looked at my blood work. He's like, "Yeah, fine. Yeah. You're good." Yeah. You know. So, you know, he just out of the tech stuff, he is constantly teaching me things.
That's one that I have on here.
So,
you teach me something.
But that's what I think every relationship should teach each other.
I remember,
you know, but he is very patient. He might like say stuff under his breath, you know, but most of the time, I since I'm old, I'm hard of hearing.
You can't hear it,
so anyway. I can't hear it anyway.
What?
But, hey.
But when we first started dating, I knew that you were the one for me because I felt like you pushed me to be a better man, and I was constantly learning something new.
But wait, let's rewind that. Before, like, we were debating whether or not to even start this relationship, you said no. And it wasn't even like I said, hey, do you want to start a relationship? You were just like, I don't know about this because it'll end in disappointment. Well, it won't end in disappointment. Well, yeah, because you keep saying on every podcast and emails that we send out, well, when Brian goes, why, like, and I keep saying he might be the one who gets hit by the crosstown bus. And why is it always a crosstown bus?
Well, I came out of a age gap relationship where I was happy when it started. I wasn't happy when it was towards its end, and it was primarily driven by we didn't have as much in common as Brian and I do, and I felt this ever-present feeling of, okay, it's all going to be done one day. With a
well,
death,
it is.
with a death.
Oh.
Not because we want it to be over, but because nature has, certain
Decided that.
decisions. Right.
Friggin' nature.
And so that was my hesitation of starting the relationship. But the benefit of dating someone that's older is you have someone who has all this life experience. I mean, you cook, you travel, your job, like everything about you has been a learning experience, and sometimes for worse or for better,
And then you'll be in my will. So then, like, you got that, and then you still got your life ahead of you. To spend all my money, all $14 of it.
All $14, yes.
You're in it.
I know how much debt we're both in. So
yeah, exactly.
Come on, YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe. But with the age comes wisdom, comes wrinkles, and comes less drama.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're just like, there's no games. It's you tell it how it is, how you want it. And I feel like I reciprocate that. I tell you the honest to God truth of how I feel, even if you don't want to hear it.
I know.
And I just think there's less games. And granted, I haven't really even dated someone that's remotely close to my age.
No.
But I have dated, I lie. I do lie because I dated women before I dated men. And so I had several girlfriends who...
Wait a second. Well, you got a Rolodex? And here's another thing. You know what a Rolodex is?
I know what a Rolodex is. But in dating the women that I've dated, not to bash anyone, but I always felt like there was like a pressure to text them back right away or just to be there at every waking frickin' moment. And I don't feel that need for you. I feel like we have our own interests as well as this combined interest in YouTube and in life that we just have fun with.
Yeah, because that way we can share. Like, yes, right. Trust me, when... Like, he's at work, I'm like, oh, gosh, I miss him. Like, because on his days off, it's great because I work from home most of the week. I mean, some days I have to go into the office. But, like, and he'll do the same. He's like, where are you? Like, you have to work? You have to go in the office today? So it's nice that even after almost 5 years, we're not sick of each other.
When we get back from vacations, we're spending, every waking moment with each other, and then we get back and we start our daily life like, oh, I miss being with
that.
you.
Yeah. So that's a good thing. Like, that's a good thing.
And, speaking of being like kind of out in public and things, kind of a benefit if you're worried about the whole gay thing out in public is most people just assume that we're father and son. Oh my gosh. Not that we're a gay couple.
Right.
So it's there's a father and his,
Oh, when we went, remember after Clark's play when we went to that bagel shop, the woman behind the counter is like, oh, look at you two, you like father and son spitting image. And I'm like, and I took it as a compliment because obviously I think he's very handsome, so I was like, oh,
not even related.
Not even related. And she's like, oh, you two. And I'm like, and the thing was, we were with my sister-in-law and Clark and Alden and my brother-in-law.
We had a posse, for sure.
So it wasn't like...
Well, they do say that if you date someone long enough, you start to look like them. So.
It's like one of my other favorite movies, 101 Dalmatians.
Okay.
Like in the opening scene, like these people look like they're dogs.
Oh, right.
Which is just hilarious.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. Okay, my final benefit for dating someone older is the benefits. The AARP benefits.
And just to clarify that, you get it at 50, and he can actually get a card because he's my partner. So
AARP, senior discounts at movies
And I was going to
or
say,
wherever.
if you looked at mine, it's like all bent because I used it to Jimmy a lock. So that's what I've used my AARP card. I don't really
Why
use
is it called
to,
Jimmy a Lock? Is that an old reference?
I don't know. It's probably racist.
Probably a racist
somehow.
reference, so we're going to get canceled. Thanks.
I don't know why. See, I love those little things. Why is it called that?
Why is it called that? So Brian should know that because he is as old as dust.
Yes, as my mom would say, as old as dirt.
Well, I mean, challenges, benefits, whatever. I'm living it. I'm loving it, and
Me
that's
too.
what we're doing,
And that's
you know?
what you do. You have to live in the moment because
Yeah.
you never know if the moment, when it's going to go.
But the real question for me is, when I get older, am I gonna date younger or am I still gonna date older? And this is kind of
Am
inspired.
I gone at this point?
You're gone.
Oh, thanks. See, I'm always gone
think
first.
you're gone.
Yeah.
Unless we
Either
allow
that,
something.
I could just be like drooling and like you could be like, I'm out of here type thing. Thanks.
But no, one of our subscribers, Richard, emailed us. Unfortunately, he lost his partner. The partner passed away, and now, you know, Richard is older, and, you know, he's questioning, oh,
He's
am I
back
gonna
on the dating scene.
date older, date younger? He'd always dated older, but now he, being an older man himself, he's questioning, you know, should I approach a younger man, and how does this go?
I should have almost set this up front. It's not that I look for a younger guy. I look for a person, and I say a guy, I'm not going to say person. I look for a guy, similar interests, decent human being, nice to wait people, you know.
Nice to what?
Wait people at restaurants, servers,
Oh, okay.
you know, because how you treat
How
people.
you treat other people is
You
very
know,
telling.
and you know, if that person happens to be younger, they happen to be younger. If they happen to be older, they happen to be older.
Yeah.
You know,
well, for me, I sought out older.
Yeah, see, I didn't.
Like, I don't think, and this is an arbitrary number, but I don't think I would date someone younger than 40. Just, I don't know.
Yeah, and it's funny because like I think, oh, I'm young. I don't.
But no, your interests are varied. You have young and old. I don't know. You're not 62.
No, I'm not. Thank God. You know, I don't think, you know, we say this like because it's an age gap relationship. I don't think the challenges and benefits are that different than any other relationship.
Right.
Besides the age number, which could contribute to other challenges, but also benefits. So like Key West has this thing, it's one human family.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it is. Like relationship, old, young, old, whatever, you know, straight, gay, we all have the same challenges and there are some awesome benefits to every relationship. And we just kind of have to seek those out and like do what works for each person.
I agree. A relationship is built on compatibility, how well you get along with each other. And, you know, I'm growing and I'm changing as a human, just as Brian is. Yep. But it's a matter of how that relationship builds upon each other, how you can grow together. And I think that, you know, I've met the guy that I can grow with and I can become a better man with.
Yay, me too.
Well, I think
that's a good wrap up. Yeah. I say, you know, that's the way we do it here. And remember, as always,
to
live your life
out loud.